Here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by JEA. The ACC Media Days will kick off up in Charlotte, North Carolina, beginning tomorrow, July 22nd, and run until Thursday, July 24th. Head coaches and student athletes representing each of the 17 programs in the conference will conduct press conferences and live interviews to speak about the upcoming season. Florida State head coach Mike Norvell, alongside 4 players, including transfer quarterback Tommy Castellanos, will speak on Wednesday. Scotty Scheffler stood head and shoulders above the field at the Open Championship this weekend, finishing 17 under par for his second major championship of 2025, ending major season as champion golfer of the year. Following a series loss to the Gwinnett Stripers, the Jumbo Shrimp will continue their road trip with the Durham Bulls beginning tomorrow night at 6:35. It's 92 degrees at 2 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
We're always thankful for our producer, RJ Saunders, but especially today as we were just having a lively conversation right before the mics crack. And so that way, what we were saying does not go out on the airwaves. I can share.
Let's hope not.
I can share what we were saying, what we were discussing, not the verbiage we might have used, but we were just talking about how great of a time we had yesterday.
Yeah, I did hear, Tommy, that there might be like bets circulating on if you drop the F-bomb at some point on our show on accident.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some odds.
I've been around a long time. I've gotten a lot
like, he's
better.
done this.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better. Back in the day now. Yeah, every word for the most part. But thanks for coming out last night.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Oh, goodness.
Great seeing the 1010XL contingent. And it was hot, so thanks for being there. You know,
was that the hottest show that you've ever played?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Now, last summer we played at the local at the beach. And it was pretty hot. You know, they get you in a corner there, and it's not a lot of ventilation. Like yesterday up at
But there is shade at the local.
Yeah.
And you're in the shade
We're
at
in the shade.
Pete's. Yeah. By the way, for people who don't know, in case you missed it, Tom McManus is a part of the band Dad Bods, and they played at Pete's Bar in Neptune Beach. They had a great crowd. A ton of Jaguars fans came out.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I love watching the people's reactions, and the band is great. I mean, they really rock. I'm the novice. They're the ones that can really jam. So I'm like, man, you probably may have noticed, like, when they go in their jam session, I like to just go like behind them and just listen to them. Yeah, and I'm just like, man, these guys really can crank it out. So it's a lot of fun.
And you had told us that you can't really sing, so my expectations were very low going in. And I love live music, so I was like, I'll have fun no matter what. But you said, like, I can't. You told us off air, like, I can't really sing. So I was like, how's this gonna go? And then the moment we walk out, right when you started, you were playing Marshall Tucker Band. You were covering Can't You See? And I was like, wait. First of all, I love this song. I love Southern rock in general. I love this song. And he's crushing it. So if you can do that song, you got the rest of them, and you did a fantastic job.
What does your set list planning look like? Is it a combination of each of you just kind of throw songs you like, or what is that? What's the planning?
We try to add, like, my hero
Can we add
was
to your
brand new.
Yeah. We have some requests.
My hero was brand new.
Okay, that was great.
That was going. By the way, if I may say, so before the song, I got approached by this couple.
Okay,
and it was you probably saw him. He had the UFC hat on, big, heavy muscle guy, and he was a real nice guy. And he lost his dad, who was like a 30-year Marine. And he's like, can you play this? I'm like, man, we don't play that. We don't play that. And I'm like, he's like, what? Do you take requests? I'm like, my band, they freak out if I bring up a request. We're just not, into it. They just want players. I said, but I'll say something. I'll dedicate something. And wouldn't you know, the next song was My Hero. And I'm like, perfect. How fitting, like it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. I even was tearing up. I was like, man, it's just such a cool tune. And then Keep on Rocking in a Free World was a new one, too. Okay. Like, and by the way, how that happened, we're taking a break. I go to the bathroom. Band starts. They're jamming it. I come back in, they're like, hey, Tommy, do you know the words to this? I'm like, yeah, I know some of them. I'll get it by. He's like, but let's try it. And then we banged it out, and that was like Tuesday night, and then we did it Sunday, and it came out pretty good. So
it was great. And I see a lot of live music acts that granted, they're typically fairly young, but they have their phones out, and they need the lyrics to the songs.
Yeah, I don't.
And you didn't one time need the lyrics. And I also noticed, too, you had great eye contact with the people. A lot of times singers will either look above everyone because they don't want to get the words messed up, or they close their eyes. And you were just interacting.
The shades help.
Yeah, that's
for the record. Sometimes you do. Like, you'll get distracted, and then you're trying to think of the next verse or what have you. I even messed up on my dad's song yesterday. I was so mad. Like, just a tiny bit of it. I recovered fine, but anyway, it's a lot of fun. I tell my wife it's good for my mental health, and instead of golf or fantasy football, I play in a band. Yeah. So there you go. So it's thanks again for coming out. And, look, it's a lot of fun, and it is hot. So it's funny. I wasn't making fun of the Jaguars practice schedule for camp, but my Avery, who you met, she's a huge Jag fan. She's like, Dad, it's still hot at 8:15. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I know it is. But let me tell you something. If you had the practice in that yesterday.
Oh, yeah, miserable.
And we didn't have the sun on us.
Right.
Now, we didn't have a lot of ventilation. That's what made it really hot. But, man, this is going to be a really challenging camp. And I for one, can't wait. We're going to fry out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be sweating.
We were in the sun yesterday.
Yeah, right.
We'll be in the sun when
Absolutely.
camp comes.
And it's going to be a great camp, I think. I'm feeling good about it.
I certainly hope so. I'm always the person that is nervous about injuries this time of year. I mean, I'm always nervous about injuries, but we saw a season-ending injury in training camp last year with the tight end Patrick Murtaugh.
Yep.
And I think now he's pretty much out of the league after that. Not saying he was necessarily going to make the team, but still, we saw pretty much the bone come through the skin. It was vicious and nasty. It was awful.
Yep.
And so I guess that type of stuff always sticks, in the back of my mind. But I just want them to be healthy. And yes, they need to hydrate for sure.
Oh, yeah. And listen, that's every coach's nightmare, guy getting hurt, especially during camp. I tore my ACL first week at camp after a great 96 season. It was just
that's brutal.
Awful. Yeah. First play of the we were practicing against Tampa. It was wet out. I didn't go with the screw-in cleats. I should have. A one-on-one pass coverage drill, and Allstott made an in-break, and I cut on my right knee, and ping, and gone. It was just, and you're done for the year. I mean, it's over. So I feel bad for guys that get hurt like that, and for coaches, especially guys that are counting on them. It's a nightmare, but you got to practice. I mean, guys get hurt. It's just going to happen. You don't want it to happen. You hope it never happens. But guys are going to get hurt. It's a big boys game. They're flying around. It's very physical, and And even those, non-contact. Both my injuries were non-contact. I didn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
Even my foot injury was like that. So, but yeah, the coaches, they worry about that stuff for sure.
Yeah, and I know to an extent when it comes to camp and when it comes to preseason, you feel like you want them to be a little more careful, but in the same breath, you're like, you want them to also be ready to get hit once game time comes. So there's that line there where you kind of have to, you teeter it sometimes, but you have to be ready because you don't want week one for them to be like, well, I haven't been hit in a year and now here I go and I'm out. So
yeah, and you gotta be aware of that, but you also you gotta be full speed when it calls for it.
Yeah,
because a lot of times guys get hurt when it's a full speed drill, but they're not going full speed. You just gotta know the tempo. You got to take care of one another, so you're not going to knock anybody to the ground. If it's a live scrimmage, yeah, of course, you're going to do what you have to do. But even in practice, the linemen aren't going to drive them into the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen from time to time, but, there may be some extra pushing and shoving, which is always fun to watch. But, yeah, it's going to be, you got to hit. You got to at least thud.
Yeah.
And for people, thudding is just hitting and wrapping and then letting go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like driving and bringing them to the ground. But it's a physical pop. You are making pretty significant contact.
Yeah, I saw an interesting, Quincy Williams tweeted, and it made me think of camp because we've had these conversations a lot of how far do you push certain things and stuff like that. And then the competitions, how many competitions we have going on right now. Yep. But he said explain training camp in one sentence. And he said, me, I'll die before I let another man and family eat before mine. And it was such an interesting way to look at it. Like, you don't want to lose your job in camp, number one, because you don't want to not be playing football. But you're taking care of your family with this too.
I'll tell you what, my dad gave me some awesome advice when I went to the Saints as a rookie free agent. I wasn't drafted. And he just said, you're playing against men now. Mm-hmm. Don't you forget that. These are grown men, and they're going to be pissed that you're going to try to take their job. And the first day in pads, the line came out. They were the biggest line I've ever seen in my life. And they came out to hunt. They were hunting. Now, they weren't trying to kill you, but they were definitely trying to get you. Yeah, and I was like, oh, my gosh. I see like one of these guys in game at BC got 5 across the board. They're all just as quick as you, and it's true, Ben. Yeah. And it's funny. I think about, back to when I was playing. I never got to play for my family. Like, I met my wife the summer of '99, and then I got hurt and never played again. And, man, it's got to be different. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just got to be. I don't know I can't explain it because I didn't live through it, but it's just got to be even more glorious than it already is. You know, you're putting it's your livelihood, it's your job, you're helping your family. They're helping you. You want
to make them proud. There's that aspect of it. What you wanted to your dad, I'm sure you felt that way for your dad when he was watching.
Yeah, and my mom. My dad, before he passed, he did get to see me play as a Jaguar, so that was really cool. Started against the Bears. It was 1995, my first ever start, and he was in the stands, so that was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
I do feel like this training camp, we don't really have an idea of what to expect. We know the times of when it starts and when it ends. But outside of that, because Liam Cohen's never been a head coach before, we've now been to OTAs. We've been to mandatory minicamp. So we have an idea of the flow. But as far as just the physicality, we expect that Tony Baselli and Liam Cohen want a super physical training camp. But they're not out there for 2 days, right? Like,
no.
You have to, and there's going to be the individual drills and the team portions as well. And so there's not as much time to be able to really get after it. But they definitely need to work on tackling. We know that for sure.
Yeah, and I trust in Tony. Tony said, he's like, we're going to be as physical as the league allows. So whatever that means. I can't really say what the league allows, but it's
well, they
change
on a
something.
week-to-week basis what they allow and don't allow.
No kidding.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of training camp, saw Fan Cam out there yesterday. Certainly came out to support you.
Yeah.
And every year he does the 13 sausage chili breakfast.
That's right.
So he'll be out there Wednesday from 8 to noon, so Jaguars fans can stop by there.
Let me tell
I didn't even know that there were 13 different types of sausages. I knew there were 13 different types of peppers. But sausages, that's amazing.
I haven't gone every year, but I've gone almost. It's phenomenal. And the line's long. He's got a ton of it, so just come hungry that first day, July or this Wednesday.
I haven't tried it either. So.
Oh, it's insane. It's really good.
It's super good. And he grows daddle peppers there in Jackson Beach, too, which is good.
Great seeing John and Karen.
Absolutely. And, by the way, shout out to the Jaguars Elite, since we're giving some shout outs. Yeah. That is the 14U boys flag football team. Incredible. So Bryson Wright this year went viral for that catch. Even Patrick Mahomes commented on it. He went viral last year. I just don't think people will remember that part, too, because he had an incredible one-handed interception in 2024. But the Jaguars team lost. And then this year they went on and beat the team that represents the Falcons called Showtime. And that the game was during your set yesterday, so we didn't get to watch live, but certainly went back and watched the highlights. I'm so proud of them. And by the way,
and
Bryson
quite the 14-year-old.
Is he a real 14-year-old?
He's 14. I mean, I'm sure. I think he'll probably. My guess is that he's about to be 15 very soon because he's going to be a sophomore this year, and so usually right around September-ish, you're turning 15. But kid's incredible, and I think also what might have helped too. Number one, social media helps with all of this stuff, anyways. All weekend we were seeing highlights of the Jaguars team playing in general, but also him. So by the time that catch happened, people were already kind of talking about his name a little bit. But it is cool. So congrats to him and congrats to the Jaguars.
Awesome throw too, by the way. Pretty good throw.
And that's what I was going to say. Dylan Moats is the quarterback.
Okay.
No one's talking about him. Like, you got to give credit to the QB. If Trevor makes that throw, we're going to give him credit. So Dylan Moats, you deserve the shout out.
If that was tackle, I don't know if he gets the ball out. That guy was rushing him pretty good, but it was a great throw. What a great play, and to have it on the spotlight's just incredible. That kid's on cloud 9. It's awesome.
And that's Taylor's alma mater.
Yeah,
so
go Mustangs.
That's right, Mandarin. Let's hear from Bryson post win and him just celebrating this.
What makes this particular Jags team special?
Just the team chemistry. We a really good teammates. We went to practice. No arguments, none of that. Just practice and came out here to get a win.
All right, what's next tonight? You got a championship to celebrate, huh?
We're going back to the city and celebrating.
Congratulations, Bryson.
Let's hope that's the first Jaguars championship of the year.
That's right. Yeah, no kidding. What a great. I mean, just listen. It doesn't matter what level. You from the beginning to the end, you win the championship, man. That's just you'll never forget it. You never forget it.
It could be pretty cool to say, like, you started football season with the Jaguars championship and you end with the Jaguars championship.
Cool.
I probably am settling for too little to say I'll just take winning the AFC South for the here and now. I suppose my sights should be set on the Super Bowl, but I think winning the AFC South at least would be on the path towards
just get in.
Bowl.
Because you never know if you can get in, right?
Yeah, look what
Anything
happened in
can happen.
2022.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Anything can happen.
All right, Jaguars news on the other side, as well as Tommy's takeaways. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They've got 6 locations around town now. The one in Mandarin, speak of the devil, opened up just a couple weeks ago. Again, WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
In your car, at home, or on your phone, radio play-by-play is where you are.
What a game for the Jacksonville defense.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The reigning national champs will be taking on the Miami Hurricanes here in Jacksonville for the Jacksonville Hoop Showdown at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena on November 16th. 5 Gators have made the Athlon Sports 2025 All-SEC preseason team, including Jake Slaughter, first-team center, Jaden Boss, second-team running back, Eugene Wilson, second-team wide receiver, Tyreek Sapp, second-team defensive lineman, and DJ Lagway, fourth-team quarterback.
Chelsea here. Summer is sizzling and so are the savings at Renewal by Anderson. For a limited time, buy 4 windows in our patio doors and receive the 5th free. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. As temperatures rise, so do energy bills. Upgrade to Renewal by Anderson's exclusive Fibrix windows. 2 times stronger than vinyl, remarkably energy efficient, and custom crafted to perfectly fit. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When roaches move into your home or business, you want them out and fast. At Terminix, they don't just get rid of the roaches, they evict them and work to prevent them from coming back. Because no one likes an uninvited pest. When roaches show up, so does Terminix. So don't live with a roach problem. I certainly don't. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Jacksonville, need a fence and ready to save? At Superior Fence and Rail, you'll lock in 5% off your fence project when you sign by the end of July. A limited time offer for savings and peace of mind this summer. Now accepting appointments for a free estimate. So act fast and get 5% off your entire fence project when you finalize by July 31st. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers, floral, or plant arrangement. This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9Sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's most interesting option. 1010XL's Media Mogul Hicken here. Watch for Musing with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Made possible by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Just a reminder, you can get in on the conversation. Just hit us up on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. And you can tell us whether or not you agree or disagree with Tommy's first takeaway. So take it away, Tom.
All right. Tommy's takeaway is brought to our good friends at J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. This goes out to all the fans, some media, some more social media, about how they look at our quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. You know, there's one side, one contingent that thinks he's awful, thinks he's a bust, thinks that he's no good and we should move on from him. Then there's the other side on the other end of the spectrum that thinks he can do no wrong, that every mistake he's ever made is somebody else's fault, excuse after excuse. Well, let's be real here. It's somewhere in the middle, because the truth is always in the middle down here on Earth, and we know it's somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to do this, because you know how critical I've been on Trevor. I'm going to meet in the middle, because I am in the middle, and I'm going to keep an open mind. And I'll tell you what, there's a new sheriff in town, there's a new attitude in town, and there's a new culture in town. And I expect Trevor Lawrence to have a good year this year. I don't know how good, but it's going to be a lot better than we've seen. And if he can bring his game together, it's going to be a great, great year. So all you people on both ends of the spectrum, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong, because it's more towards the middle. I feel like this is a political speech, but it's not.
I've said that before. Like the Trevor's polarizing, and there are people on both ends of the spectrum, to your point, like we discussed with politics with right and left.
Yep.
So I always know that I'm talking to a rational Jaguars fan and a Jaguars fan that pays attention.
Yep.
If when I ask them, what do you think about Trevor Lawrence, their response is, what do you think about the offensive line? Because I can answer the Trevor Lawrence questions when I can tell you if the offensive line is going to be good or not this year. And so, yes, he now has excellent weapons. I don't think the weapons have been an issue outside of maybe 2021.
Yeah.
No, I don't
and there were so many other issues that's a whole different part of the conversation. To me, it's been the lack of protection, and that obviously has also led to him getting injured several times.
Yeah, and that's going to be another topic, because we don't know if it's fixed yet. And so how do we continue? If the offensive line's fixed, then at the end of the season, I think you finally do have your true example of what Trevor Lawrence can be. If the offensive line is not fixed, then we're probably still having these conversations next year. We don't quite know what that is, and that sucks. You don't want to go into year 6 talking about that still.
Well, if the line's struggling, that means you got to get that ball out quick.
Yep.
A lot quicker than you normally would, and you might not be able to go deep as much as you would unless you're in shotgun, because you don't have to take too many steps back, if any, at all. But look, franchise quarterbacks over the course of time carry the offense. Do they not?
Yeah.
I mean, good O-line, not a good O-line, good running game, not a good running game, everything else around. The really great quarterbacks, they find a way to get it done. Listen, it's valid that he's taking a beating. There's no doubt. And I think he started seeing ghosts last year. I think it did really affect him. And I don't blame him, because it hurts. It hurts to get hit like that, especially when you don't see it coming. He's a very tough guy. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, this is year 5, and there's no more anything. You either get it's not an ultimatum. He's here. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but this is the year. And he says it's the year, and he says himself, this is the year to turn it on. So something's cooking with Trevor, and I can't wait to see it. And I'll tell you, like I was saying earlier, about playing for your family, it's a different thing. And now that he has a family, it could be a lot different for him. And I hope it is.
Yeah, I think the playing for your family matters, especially if you haven't gotten your second contract. I think once you get that second contract, which Josh Hines-Allen has, certainly Trevor Lawrence has, then I think you don't focus on the money part of it. Like, for instance, Logan Cook talked about this recently. He's like, yeah, I have a family. They have 2 boys, and his wife is pregnant with a 3rd.
Yep.
That's the punter for people who aren't paying attention.
Right.
And sometimes
one of the best in the league, for the record.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, yeah, that $16 million, that matters now to my family. $16 million is a ton, certainly, in this day and age, but it's nothing in comparison to what like a Josh Hines-Allen got with over $100 million, with what Trevor got over $200 million. So I don't know that once you get that massive contract that the money part is ever something that you think about. I think it's more you play for legacy. Josh Hines-Allen has said that. Yeah, absolutely. He's playing for his legacy to be determined in the future seasons. I think Trevor Lawrence wants to rewrite the legacy that he has to this point.
Yeah, and I think that playing for family means a lot more than just money, though, too. And I think that when you're talking about if Trevor if that's the mindset right now, then he has a daughter he wants to make proud now that later she gets to go back and be like, my dad's really cool and he's a very good football player. And so I do think maybe, I don't know, I'm not talking to Trevor Lawrence about how he feels about that, but I do think some people there's the legacy side of it, there's the money side of it, but there's just make mom and dad proud, make my wife proud, make my kids proud. And I do think that adds to for some people.
Yeah, that's the glorious part about it, right? The money's great, but I mean, to be able to say
great,
that, I mean, look, you can't even fathom. Who can fathom that? Not many people can fathom that kind of money, so I try not to. Because I'm not going to see that kind. Let me just tell you this. So I go to the alumni every week, every year, right? And every weekend there's
Jaguars
an event.
legends.
Yep, the legends they call us, which anyway, we'll move on. Yeah, it's a community, all right? There are a few legends in it, there's no doubt. But when we got together at Beach Bowl last year, and a lot of guys were there from the old days, and all the way through. And let me just tell you right now, contract means nothing. Nobody sits there like, oh, that guy made this. You know what matters? First of all, Super Bowl rings trump everything except the Hall of Famer, because the Hall of Famer's the Hall of Famer. Then you got your superstars like Freddie and those guys, and Freddie's doing great with the pivot and all that kind of stuff. And that is just if you're a good guy or not.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about, well, he made two, he made this, he made that. Now they may say he wasn't worth that.
Yeah.
They
He
may
got
say
paid way
that.
too
Like,
much.
this guy was way overrated. They may say those kind of things. But it's never about like, wow, man, you made so much money. Way to go. It's all about, well, what kind of career did you have?
Yeah.
And what kind of guy were you? Because those two things are what really matters, right?
And I brought up the money because Quincy Williams' tweet that you read post that you read talked about feeding his family.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's where I was connecting the family and the money side of things.
Listen, it happened in our era. Guys get paid, they put it in neutral. They want to play to the contract.
Yeah.
Like they don't play with the same reckless abandon that got them the contract.
Yeah.
And they just kind of tone it down a bit, just to enough to where I'm not going to lose my starting job. That's not across the board. That's very few and far between.
Definitely.
But there are guys that are like that for sure.
And that's what, I read it, I think, a little bit different, too, because I wasn't thinking about him saying that as this, I want the most money on the team. I was just, you got a job, then you get to support your family. More so, the moment you lose that starting job, then things can get shaky real fast for these guys.
Let me tell you something. If you got to go home and tell the wife you got benched, it's a very tough thing emotionally to go through.
And release
and
is
then,
even
then,
worse.
then mom and dad call. Why aren't you starting? Then your friends call. Why aren't you starting? What's going on? I thought you were the man. I thought about it. And then it's a lot. It's a lot to take on. And that's why I always said, today with all the money, you bench their ass. I mean, if you're not playing well, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, I'm going to go to the owner and say, listen, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. I got to bench him. And hopefully the owner backs me, because sometimes they don't.
Right.
They'll be like, no, I'm paying him too much money.
Yeah.
You can't bench him. But hopefully you got an owner that knows that, look, you guys sometimes do that, because I'm telling you, it's embarrassing when you have to go home and
Have
tell
that
your family that, have that conversation.
But for instance, right now, Anton Harrison is the guy that Liam Cohen has certainly called out, the Jaguars' right tackle. Let's say the season begins and he's not necessarily playing great, and they think maybe it's a lack of effort. I don't know if you can bench him, because I don't know. Well, maybe more last year. Now you have Chuma Doga there as depth, but last year I don't know if you could have benched Anton Harrison, because I don't think there was another person on this roster, another offensive lineman on this roster that would have done better than what Anton was doing. And that's where depth is so important.
And that's why I think you hope that this regime has changed that, because before the biggest problem was that. Well, one of the biggest problems was
raising the floor.
One of the many problems that we've had the last few many years was that one thing would fall. If one person got injured, or if one person wasn't performing to how you wanted to, the wheels would fall off, because you didn't have the depth pieces. You didn't have people that could come in and step up. If you're doing your job as a general manager, as a head coach, then if you should have some other choices, it shouldn't just be like, this person's gone, this person's not playing how we thought, and we have no other options.
Well,
that's a problem organizational.
I've always liked Cole Van Hanen. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And he filled in nicely for Anton. Now, he's not as athletic. He's not maybe filling that side of it, but that guy's a decent right tackle. They're flipping him around, too, and I think he could play guard in a pinch. I do. I think he's big and nasty, and he likes getting after it, and I thought he did a pretty good job. Other than that, I'll agree with you. I didn't think the depth behind, no disrespect to Hance and those guys, just, he just never did it for me, I guess. But keep in mind, it was a different way to block. It was a very finesse style, get in your way, build this wall you off, and then let the back hit the chute. A lot of times that's just kind of finesse, soft football.
Yeah.
It's not taking the guy and moving him out of the way.
Blake Hance plays for the Titans now, by the way.
Oh, yes.
What's that?
Blake Hance plays for the Titans now.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, good for him, man.
But that's why you also had one of the lowest ranks offensive lines in the league last year, because you didn't have any competition between. You had 5 that were not good to bad and maybe one guy that was playing well, and then you had nobody behind to add any competition level to that, so you just had a terrible offensive line. And that's what it ends up turning into if you don't have guys to compete.
Yep. All right, more Jaguars on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels. It is a Big Chief Tire Monday, always a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They do a ton for our community, and they, of course, always take care of any vehicle needs that I have. Newest location, Mandarin on San Jose Boulevard. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We do things as a team, gentlemen. Jacksonville's live and local sports radio.
We cannot be defeated.
1010XL. 10XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
With training camp beginning on Wednesday, that means football season is almost here. So before it arrives, I'm going to get our home organized. Lauren Brooks here. I'm so excited to meet with the team at Closets by Design tomorrow and discuss all the improvements that they can make for our home. You can do the same. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Oh yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday, the local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has two epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air. keeping you comfortable in every season.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 21st, 1973, Atlanta Braves Hank Aaron hits Philadelphia Phillies Ken Brett's fastball for home run number 700.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business. Window World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. The Jaguars rookies did report over the weekend on Saturday, and then we found out that the Jaguars placed linebacker Dennis Gardeck on the active/physically unable to perform list, also known as the PUP list. He tore his ACL in his right knee on a punt play in a game for the Cardinals against the Chargers last October. It's the same knee that he injured in 2020. If you're wondering when he can actually practice, they can take him off of the PUP list at any point in time because he's on the active list. He does count against the 90-man roster. He just cannot practice right now. If he's not healthy by the time training camp ends, then he'll be placed on the reserve PUP list. That means he has to miss at least 4 games when the season begins. We know that he's a guy with a great story. He was not drafted. He was working at McDonald's when he played for West Virginia State. And then he played at both West Virginia State and South Dakota State. He's one of those guys, in the recent last 5 years.
One of those guys.
Played multiple schools. And then he signed a couple years ago, signed a $12 million contract, and he was starting at outside linebacker.
Wow.
I do think that Gardeck, is a guy that could factor into the rotation as far as getting after the quarterback if he's healthy.
Yeah. And that's what you got to stay healthy, and we could say that about a lot of different people, and several of them on this roster, honestly. And you talk about Tyson Campbell's one of those guys you want to see stay healthy. Trevor's a guy you're going to want to see healthy. There's several on this roster that could make or break if they're not staying healthy this year.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, with Gardeck, when did he do it? In October, I think. It was later in the year. So ACLs today, you should be able to come back. I'm sure the meniscus was part of it. And if there was anything else a part of it, then it would take like an LCL or PCL or something like MCL. If that was part of the equation, it would take a little bit longer. I think what's interesting, so you have our 2 edge guys and you have Agba.
And Dwan Smoot.
And Smoot, but who's your real speed rusher? It could be Gardeck. It could be, or
Abdullah.
No, it's not.
I don't think he factors into that.
Yeah, no.
I've had enough. I shouldn't say that. He I don't know him as a person. I shouldn't say that, but he just isn't a pass rusher at the NFL level. He just hasn't shown it. He might have been great in college, and that's awesome. It's great to be great in college, but it's a totally different game. And I just never see. I just see him rush up to the lineman, and then they play a little. Cat and mouse game. I don't see moves. I don't see bends. I don't see dips around the corner. But then the other guy's McLeod, the rookie out of Auburn.
Jalen McLeod,
Or McLeod. Thank you. I love being on this show, man. You can fix my grammatical errors all day long. I appreciate it, and I do. But
out of Auburn, yeah.
So who's that fourth? You know what I mean? And it'd be nice to have a change of pace because Agba's kind of big like the other two, and they're fast. Don't get me wrong, but having a smaller. Maybe a little more nimble, and he's fast, and he's a special teams demon. I mean, you want a guy like that. You know, even if he gets 5 snaps coming off the edge, you know what I'm saying, and maybe make some disruption. And who knows? You never know. I mean, look, that linebacking crew, I mean, I think it's set in semi-dried ink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Kaiser's got a shot to crack it. You know, you never know. Maybe Gardeck shows that, hey, I can contribute to this team and maybe play, Sam or play Will or at least in, nickel or dime. I can come out and rush the passer, and then I'm going to run down on punt and kick on. I'm going to be one of your core 4 guys,
Yeah,
So-
which obviously playing special teams is a key thing, even if fans don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
If you don't go to training camp, you miss the fact that they spend a lot of time working on special teams.
Let me tell you something. I spent plenty of time on special teams, and when you're on special teams, the starters really appreciate you. You know what I mean? And it is the third. They say the 3 facets, offense, defense, but it is, and you're right. Fans, some media even, other than the trio, they're fantastic. They're the best in the league. But guys running down on punt, guys doing kickoff, those guys are really appreciated by the starters because they don't want to do it.
Yeah. They drafted
They feel like,
respect.
thanks for taking it over because we don't want to do that anymore.
The Jaguars drafted a guy in Ryan Lane, who I think the primary reason they drafted him. By the way, today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday.
Also, today is Billy Napier's 46th birthday. So
Really?
happy birthday to him.
Right.
But yeah, Taylor, we've talked so much about the defensive tackle position because of the fact that it didn't go well last year, right? And Eric Armstead wasn't in that position where he should have been. It
was very
we
funky.
talk a ton about the secondary. Anybody who listens to the show knows that we spend a lot of time on that. We've talked a little bit about the linebacking core as far as like how it's going to look for the starting roster. But I do wonder how Gardeck kind of factors into this, and Jalen McLeod. McLeod through OTAs and minicamp was working with the linebackers, not the edge rushers.
Yeah, I was about to say, it will be interesting to even see if they try him at both spots, too, and see just kind of where he fits best, but what that looks like for the room. If Gardeck can't go, you start to see McLeod a little bit more than maybe you were going to in the original plan. But the edge rushers, my favorite move I put outside of a Travis Hunter move, obviously, was Agba, because I just think getting another guy that consistently get to the quarterback on the outside is a good thing. And he's been in his best seasons when he's the rotational guy. It's weird because he's one of those players that when he was the edge rusher, you don't see as much impact. But when he's been able to be out there in certain situational downs and be that rotational guy, he has just as much impact as he did as a full-time starter. So I do think that this role for him is perfect because you have guys like Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon that can do the majority of the work, and you just kind of have to be that role player. And I think it's perfect for Agba. But behind
Smoot
that,
too.
and Smoot too, yes, and Smoot too. Injuries, that's another thing. You want him to stay healthy too.
Agba can play inside too, I mean, especially in nickel and dime. I mean, for sure he can play over.
And Trayvon can.
Trayvon can.
We know that for sure. That's going to be interesting to see what Coach Campanile does with Trayvon Walker and as far as his versatility. Yeah. We know that Trayvon Walker is a guy that is both getting better as a pass rusher, but also really good against the run.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel like now he's going to become more of that pass rush specialist. Still be good against the run, but I feel like he has put so much time and effort into that that part of his game.
Yeah, well, he learned he can't just bull rush. That's why he's so good against the run, because he's so stout. He just whacks and he stands there like you're not moving him out of the way, and then he'll make a play, But then he thought, well, I'll just do that rush in the pass. They're like, no, we'll just set our hips and anchor down, and you're not going to go anywhere, because we're big too. And then he's developed these moves. Listen, the dip, it's always that dip, that inside
baby dip.
That it's part of it. I mean, it's so true. You can see natural bend. You're coming around the corner. You're not just running up the field and they run you around. I'm talking when you come around the corner and you're bending. You're almost parallel to the floor, to the grass, to the field, because you're so low and they can't get their hands on you. That's why you got to dip, because the lineman would love for you to come right at them.
Yeah.
They just hit you in the middle and grab you. But when you can dip and get around them, they can only put so many hands on you. You know what I mean? So I think Trayvon's really developed into a heck of a player, rushing a passer, and I think he's only going to get better. I really do, man.
Do either of y'all follow De'Ami Brown, the Jags wide receiver, on Instagram?
I do not.
Okay, I started following him when he was posting the videos of the receivers in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then over the weekend, he posted a video, and it was just simply of Trayvon Walker. And it was on his story, so it's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. But it was just showing
Him
Trayvon
working out,
Walker,
or him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, him working out, and he's like,
That's what got him drafted one.
Yeah.
Workout videos.
Exactly. That is valid. Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up, Taylor. I have some odds in front of me for the NFL defensive player stats. Trayvon Walker comes in at 9.5 sacks. That's the over-under. And then Josh Hines Allen 8.5. So they have him 1 sack less than Trayvon. I'll give you one guess as to who is predicted to have the most sacks in 2025 in the NFL. Since I just gave you the clue of Trayvon being taken 1 overall. Who was taken after him?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah.
14.5 are the predictions.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not surprised.
I'm taking
he had
the over
half of
for
that
our guys.
in like playing 5 games last year.
Yeah.
So, of course.
But that goes to show you the difference in the projections.
But I would put both of them ahead of that. Like, I would this year expect both of them to have in the double digits.
Both of them, you're talking about Trayvon and Josh.
Walker and Josh.
I was going to say, you think
and Aiden Hutchinson also in double digits.
But not more than 14.5.
Yeah, I think, no, I would put that. I would honestly probably say more for Hutch. Because I just think he played 5 games and had 7 sacks last year, and so I would if he's a full season, that's obviously injuries aside, he's getting, I think, 15, 16 sacks.
Yeah, listen, he had a very serious and not catastrophic, it was for the year to his leg. You can work out all you want. You know, you can do all the running, lifting, moving until you go against live. You
can't see
where you're not thinking about the leg.
Yeah.
You know, when you come back from an injury, it's weird, and then eventually you just forget about it. He is a fantastic player. There's no doubt. Insane. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say he's right around 14. I think. You know, I know he had a monster year last year. I don't know. Maybe it's going to take a little time to get used to that leg, and maybe the other side's figured him out a little bit. I know that spin move. He's got to be careful, that spin move. Go ask Leon Cersei what he'd like to do to a spin move. Just wait till right as they turn their chest around it, kabam! And he was great at it. But, I'm going the over on both Josh and it's a little, listen, I know why, because of last year, but why is Josh so far behind Aiden Hutchinson? You know, I can understand.
I was surprised. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big gap.
In your opinion, Tommy, what would you expect? Like, let's say Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon, I think we'd all agree we'd think they're both going to be in double digit. Behind that, though, the biggest criticism last year was that we were only having guys with like 3.5 sacks. That was the next closest.
Right.
How many guys do you think can have like 5, 6 behind around that number?
I think Armstead. And I think Agba.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Mason Smith, too.
He's got a chance. He had 3 last year. You know, he's a beast.
He didn't play a lot in the beginning.
Could get him. And then who knows, you know, coming off the edge or coming off the, can Smoot give you 5?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. You know? Can Gardeck, once he gets healthy, give you 4, 3, you know? But I think probably 4 or 5 guys, and that'd be great.
That'd be, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year
you're talking about 20 extra sacks right there.
No doubt, and we didn't have inside pressure last year hardly at all. I mean, it was like very minimal. So I'm expecting this D-line, and the key again is Eric moving inside because I think he gives those guards a problem.
I do think they have to get sack production from elsewhere, or you're going to see another season that's gone off the rails. Same with the takeaways, as we've discussed. They had 9 in 17 games. 9 takeaways.
So awful.
9.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say
17 games. Like, you're playing 17 games and you get 9.
9 takeaways.
And they had 27 a year ago. And then we gave it away 30, so we were -3, I think, for the year.
Turnover differential isn't probably what you love, but you were getting 25, 24, 26 the last couple years. So to drop to 9 is
putrid, pathetic, atrocious. All those words. All right, wanted to get to the fact that the Titans lost what I'm going to say is their backup quarterback. They had not named Cam Ward as the starter, their number 1 overall pick. But Will Levis, we found out today he has to undergo surgery July 29th on his throwing shoulder. He injured it, though, as we discussed off air. He injured it in September of last year against the Dolphins. So why hasn't this been fixed to this point in time? That's the question that I certainly can't answer. But you have to wonder at this point, Tom and Taylor, if Will Levis ever takes another snap for the Tennessee Titans.
Not if Cam Ward turns out to be what they think he's going to be. By the way, I read something on him. He's got Dan Marino's release. I was like, whoa, that would be pretty awesome to have a QB. But he's a rookie. We'll see how he could shake down. But yeah, I would say it is. I would. I don't. Will Levis. The mayonnaise commercial.
I know. I feel kind of bad now, like not realizing, I guess, how injured he was because he did return.
I don't feel bad. That's his problem.
He was terrible.
He just had a lot of viral moments last year that did not work in his favor.
Yeah, his attitude sucks. He goes to the bench and he pouts and he looks like a little baby. And if I'm an old lineman, I want to slap him one. He's just, I don't know. That kid to me, he's like. I don't know what you call it. He thinks he's a lot better than he is, that kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't know if Tennessee Titan fans are reacting towards this much at all. They're probably like, I mean, sucks you wasted a draft pick on Will Levis. Many people tried to tell you not to draft Will Levis at that point.
They thought he'd be traded already.
Yeah, honestly.
He's got the tools.
Yeah.
He's just, there's something up there.
Mentally
I don't know
not
if he
there.
has the tools.
Yeah.
Is what
He's
I
got a
would say.
decent arm. He's got a decent arm, and he's a big enough guy. And he's just, there's something missing upstairs, though.
I watched him a lot because I watched SEC football so much. I watched him a lot at Kentucky, and I just was never impressed. Never thought he'd be good.
Liam Cohen liked him.
Yeah,
he was. That's the reason we should have faith and optimism in
That's right.
2025.
Liam Cohen, 'cause he
Liam Cohen
let-
made Will Levis look good.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, look at that. Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle behind. Do they make a move? Because if Cam Ward struggles or gets hurt, or do they just ride it out for the season with that? Because
there anybody
go to
out
Brandon
there?
Allen is in 5 years has started in 10 games with 56 completion percentage, 1,800 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 picks in 5 years. So not sure that's giving you anything to write
Not a
home
lot
about.
of comfort there,
Yeah.
with him being the backup. Is there anybody else out there?
I mean, unless you want to spend
an old
money,
dog
probably
somewhere,
not. Yeah,
you know what I
because you're not
mean?
going to go trade for like Kirk. Like,
And that's why
not
we
what
always.
you're gonna do.
That's why we always circle back to the Browns, who have 4 potential.
maybe call the
quarterbacks.
Browns.
So that's always a
you can
possibility.
trade.
Like Kenny Pickett, if he's
Yeah.
not going to be the Browns starter, maybe you go after him.
Try and get Jameis.
Jameis is third string for the Giants. I don't
Yeah.
think Jameis has anything left. But,
I do.
I
He has
like
way more than
Jameis.
Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle.
Yeah, for sure. I'd take him
A
over
lot of
those two
interceptions
guys.
coming your way.
Yeah.
All right, on the other side, Taylor Dahl has a tangent. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
Ever wonder what Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser did before the drill?
How long have we been friends? We're not friends.
Dan and Jeff.
But if we teamed up, it could bring your career to the next level.
Mornings on 1010XL.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of one another. This is Tom McManus, former Jaguar. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you, and we're also veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
What two vegetables are combined in making succotash?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In order to make succotash, you'll need dry corn and dry beans. Suffering succotash was made famous by Sylvester the Cat.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Your
replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. As the Jacksonville Jaguars prepare for the upcoming football season, the team announced 9 practice dates that are open to the public beginning July 23rd. Tickets to attend and parking are free with limited capacity, but advanced registration is required on the Jaguars training camp page. For all practices at the Miller Electric Center, parking lots open at 7 a.m., gates open at 7:45, and practice is expected to start at 8:30. Open practice dates include July 23rd through the 29th with an exclusive season ticket holder day the 25th. Then we'll finish up August 3rd and 5th. The scrimmage will be held August 1st at 7 p.m. Parking lots open at 3:30 with complimentary general parking available upon registration for lots B, C, D, E, J, S, and X. Due to construction, only the West Club Gate and Gate 4 will be open for entry at 4:30 p.m. It's 93 degrees at 2:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
That 10 days from today, there is an NFL preseason game.
Yeah.
10 days from today.
Wait.
Chargers, Lions, Hall of Fame game. They're in Canton. OHIO.
When you're in that Hall of Fame game, it gets there so fast. It feels like, you are at camp and 1 week later you feel like you're playing that game. And so it's kind of wild. You don't really get to usually see a lot of the people you want to see in the game, but you're celebrating big moments, obviously, because you have players getting into the Hall of Fame. So
Yes,
that's an exciting part.
I was in Canton when Tony Baselli was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was great.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you who the Jaguars played in that preseason game because A, no one, like you said, no one's really no one is playing.
I'm trying to remember.
And B, there was a lightning delay or weather delay, so
That's
we were
right.
there for quite a long time. Spent a lot of time.
I was
there.
against the Raiders.
Yeah, we played the
that sounds
Hall
right.
of Fame game in '95.
Yes.
The very first game was up at the Hall of Fame game, preseason. Anyway,
Yes. Yeah,
now does that count towards the 3 they play?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's an extra. They get the extra one. Right?
Now they have 4.
I'm sure all the veterans are happy about that.
Yeah.
Coach, I can't play this week.
That is true.
Take a
Speaking
day
of the
off.
Lions, 2 quick notes before Taylor gets to her tangent. Ennis Rakestraw, the cornerback, he did leave practice yesterday early with an injury, but as it turns out, it is I'm going to say a chest contusion, so a chest bruise. He'll be back in just a few days, so that part not so bad. But in worse news, defensive tackle Levi Onwuzurike is out for the season with an ACL injury, and
good player right there.
like you mentioned, Taylor, before the show, you've got Frank Ragnow, who retired, the offensive lineman. So they've lost 2 critical pieces of their trenches.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, especially coming off losing both of their coordinators that were major factors in the last few years, too. So probably if you're a Lions fan, I don't know if I'd say they're like panicking because I think that there's enough talent on that roster and they all believe in Dan Campbell. But there has to be a little bit of what is this going to look like?
Yeah, I would say they're a top 5 roster in all of the NFL. So certainly they've got depth. And we just talked about, they lost Aiden Hutchinson a season ago and we're still a really good football team.
Yeah, and they still have a really good O-line. And I like Goff a lot. And they got plenty of weapons and their running game's really good. So I think they'll
They
be
lost
very
Ragnow, which I
competitive.
do think their line's going to take a step back because of that. He was the best at his position the last 4 or 5
Very
years.
good.
He was a massive part in the way they run the ball with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Somebody cut all the clips of all of their runs last year. 97% were successful because of Ragnow.
Well, listen, I mean, not every team or organization does this, but if you draft well, like
then
Philly,
you have the replacement.
right? Jason Kelsey,
Yep.
who'd they go to? That he's really good. The number 51, Juergens.
Yeah.
And he just got a new deal. Like it's like, wow, how do you replace?
Imagine that.
You know what I mean? Cam Juergens is his name, and you're like, that's what you do,
Yeah.
right? You got like you
That's
you
good
never know when
drafting.
that starter's going to be gone, injury or just time. You got to have someone that steps right in there and replaces.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest storylines because they're like, they're not going to be able to tush push anymore without Jason Kelsey. And then imagine that.
Yeah, right.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's what Howie Roseman.
Just
that's why he
imagine.
makes the big bucks. I should
That's right.
say. Just imagine. Taylor, when it comes to David Montgomery, you mentioned him. I did see that he said this is the year of reckoning for the Lions. Like they are frustrated
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
they have not won. They haven't won the NFC, and that or they didn't last year, and then they haven't won the Super Bowl. So we shall see certainly what.
And they
their
lost like
season looks
26
like.
players to injury last year and still did what they did.
No kidding.
Yeah, but they did also lose the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, so there could be issues. But chemistry with teams is another also really important.
When you have
thing.
that, it helps.
It certainly does. All right, time now for Taylor's tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
Yeah, speaking of chemistry with teams, ESPN does this every year where they rank rosters as a whole. And so they go through and it's that 1 through 32 of the strongest to weakest full rosters from top to bottom, depth pieces, but also they do focus on obviously quarterback in this. And when it comes to run game and stuff like that, there's emphasis on, I think you could probably guess the top 5. I'm just going to go through the top 5, the bottom 5, and I'm going to tell you where they have the Jaguars, and we'll chat a little bit about that. So the top five rosters that they believe are the best in the NFL right now as a whole, they have the Baltimore Ravens as number 1. So the biggest strength, they say Lamar Jackson. Their biggest weakness, and they put weakness in quotes, it says, weakness for a roster that is otherwise pretty stacked on the left side. Patrick McCarry is out and will be replaced by Andrew Voorhees, Ben Cleveland, or perhaps a rookie. So they still have a TBD on that side of the line. So that's their biggest question. That's their biggest question mark there. And then their X factor, it says, is left tackle Ronnie Stanley. This is all about his health. Stanley didn't miss a game last season, which helped earn him a well-deserved contract, but that doesn't mean that injury risk all went away because obviously previous years there was a lot there. So they have them as the best roster in the NFL. They have Philly as 2. This makes sense to me. I probably would put Philly at number 1. I think maybe Lamar ups the quarterback side. Most people are going to obviously take Lamar over Jalen Hurts. But I do think when you look between the trenches in general, they have the best offensive line and defensive line that when you're talking about mere names and depth pieces on both of those. Tommy, you were just mentioning some being able to lose somebody like a Jason Kelsey and just replenishing, no problem. They have their 3rd best as the Detroit Lions, so we also just mentioned them. Their biggest strength is running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Their biggest weakness is interior offensive line, they said. This should come as no surprise after Lions said goodbye to Frank Ragnow and guard Kevin Zeitler during the offseason. So they have to replace 2 of their massive pieces that were heavily a part of that run game last year and success in general of Jared Goff barely getting touched. So we'll see how they replace that. Number 4, they have the Buffalo Bills. The biggest strength, they said, is quarterback. The biggest weakness is safety. And their X factor, they said, is Keon Coleman and then tight end Dalton Kincaid. And then number 5, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. So the biggest strength, quarterback. That's an obvious one. Biggest weakness, so offensive tackle. Tackle has carried over from 2024 as the Chiefs' top trouble spot. The head-scratching 4-year, $80 million deal handed to right tackle Jawan Taylor 2 years ago has not worked out, and they're not convinced that it's going to. Their X factor is Rashee Rice. Pending disciplinary action from the league in this season, Rice truly ascends, could be the number 1 receiver role in Kansas City. You obviously have to be out there. So those are their top 5, which I feel like most people would say, okay, there's probably some names that maybe some people would throw in there if quarterbacks weren't included. That may change a little bit, but because you have a Patrick Mahomes, for example, that's going to automatically put those guys up there. So then when you talk about the bottom of their list at number 32, and this one goes to the New Orleans Saints. I don't think there's any surprise there. Their quarterback room alone is very questionable.
At least their quarterback signed today, by the way, Tyler Shuck, the draft.
Yes. So they said their biggest weakness is quarterback. The X factor is tackles Kelvin Banks and Talise Fuaga. The latter struggled in pass protection as a rookie at left tackle, recording an 84% pass block win rate and ranked 57th out of 66. So they definitely want to get that line, especially with what the quarterbacks are behind them. The 31st worst is the Cleveland Browns. The biggest strength, they say, is edge rusher. That's obvious. Biggest weakness, quarterback. I think we could all guess that. The 30th they have on this list is the Carolina Panthers. Biggest strength, wide receiver.
Week 1 opponent.
Yeah.
That's right.
Biggest strength, wide receiver. There's some projection here, they're saying, but receiver should be a strength. Obviously, they added Ted McMillan this offseason. Xavier Legette, he had definite flashes last year. We'll see if that continues. Their biggest weakness, they say, is safety. Xavier Woods, who led the defense in snaps last season, he's gone and will be replaced by Travion Morig. So there's a lot of questions back there in their secondary, but especially at that safety spot. So number 29, they have the New York Jets. Biggest strength, cornerback. Biggest weakness, quarterback. So they replaced Aaron Rodgers with Justin Fields. That's kind of that's going to be one of the bigger talking points. I will say they say their X factor is their tackles. When you have Olu Fashanu and Armand Mimbo, I think they have the potential to actually be 2 of the better tackle groups in the NFL, and that can help Justin Fields, especially when Justin starts using his legs because he can avoid a lot of stuff too. 28th, they have the Tennessee Titans. The biggest strength, they said, is their interior defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons, we know Devondre Sweat, who a lot of people had some criticisms of, but he actually played pretty decent last year. Their biggest weakness is it just says the rest of the front 7. And so
should be backup quarterback
probably now. Yeah, and I'm sure if they talked about backups, it'd be there. But then 27th, they have the New York Giants. Biggest strength, defensive front, and then the biggest weakness is offensive line. Their X factor is their safety room with Tyler Nubin. So interesting to follow along with that. But with the Jaguars, so if you've noticed, they were not in the bottom 5 and they weren't in the top 5. I don't know if anybody's surprised about that one, but
we knew they wouldn't be in the top 5.
Yeah, and
or
some
the bottom 5, right?
As a roster as a whole,
I don't know.
I think because
on the media.
Yeah.
Right.
I do think because of Josh Hines-Allen and Foye and Trayvon Walker and Tyson Campbell and some of those guys, and now Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr., you're not going to be you weren't going to be probably in that bottom 5, but they do have the Jacksonville Jaguars as 22nd. And so they said the biggest strength, edge rusher. Josh Hines-Allen has emerged as one of the league's top pass rushers. And then Trayvon Walker is quickly joining that conversation. Over the past 2 seasons, Hines-Allen ranks 6th with 25.8 25.5, and Walker 12th with 20.5 league-wide in total sacks. Depth is also potential strength with Gardeck. They're mentioning him, and then Ogba and then DeJuan Smoot all signing in free agency. Their biggest weakness they have is offensive line. This is the Jags' main concern for the third consecutive season. Tackles Walker Little and Anton Harrison posted poor pass block win rates in each of the past 2 seasons, and they are expected to start again. The interior will have a bit of a new look. Left guard Ezra Cleveland will be joined by 2 newcomers, Robert Hainsey and right guard Patrick McCarry, which we will see how all of this, that's just right now what it looks like, obviously. But they said it's hard to imagine the group making much of a leap from what they looked like last year. And they have their X factor as rookie wide receiver and quarterback Travis Hunter. No surprise.
Yeah. I did see, by the way, we were talking about the defensive player odds. Travis Hunter's over-under for interceptions. What do y'all think it is?
4.
4? What do you think it is?
Oh, that's good. I would probably maybe 3.
It was 2.
Oh.
I was like, he could have 2 in theory.
Yeah.
He could have 2 in the first couple games. He could have 2 in a month. So if it was me, I would take the over. But again, this is from my lens of I think that he'll end up playing a lot of cornerback. I don't.
And I think they're listening to what coaches have said probably when they're doing those numbers right now. And the coaches have said he's going to be majority offense and situational defense. And also it's a team that didn't get the ball a lot last year. So there's a lot of connections that they're probably right now that may change. You give a couple practices and training camp where he's getting a couple of those, and that can switch really quickly.
Well, listen, the 22nd. I mean, look, you're unfamiliar with the O-line. We don't know. Us 3 are sitting there going, well, how good is the O-line going to be? I don't know. We got to see
him. We'll have a better idea a week from today after practice when the pad's going.
Got to have an idea maybe, and that can change, right? So if they end up being a pretty solid O-line, you're going to jump up, in rankings for whatever that means right now. I'm sure it can change pretty quick. I got a question. Is Lamar Jackson that far ahead of Jalen Hurts?
I think so. I think at least league-wide, they definitely think so. But I think that Lamar has been one of those guys that from the start, everyone was like, oh, he's a running back. He's not a quarterback. And he's perfected the passing side of his game. And because of that, I don't know if we've seen that from Jalen Hurts yet. I think Jalen Hurts can throw, and we see the moments, but I don't know if he's perfected that side the way that Lamar Jackson has. And it's interesting because I posted over the weekend, there was a conversation that me and some friends were having about other quarterbacks. And so we were talking about Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, I'm trying to remember the 4 we were talking about. Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts. So those 4 guys. And we were kind of arguing who we would have, like, if not saying to replace Trevor, but just in general, for those 4 quarterbacks, which do you think is best? And so I posted the poll on Twitter just to see how many, which way it actually went. Herbert won. But a lot of people were arguing that, like Jalen Hurts should have won. And the people arguing against Jalen Hurts were all like, he has the most stacked roster around him. But then in this, Lamar Jackson does. Yeah. So it's a very interesting conversation.
Look, Lamar's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's an MVP multiple times. I mean, he's a great, great, great player. Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal player. I mean, and listen, he's clutch. And he's won the big games. And we all, how do we measure quarterbacks? The big games. The Super Bowls, the big games. And I know everyone's going, it's not fair, Lamar, but Lamar hasn't stepped up to the highest level in the big game.
Jalen's been there twice now.
Yeah, and Jalen took down Mahomie.
Yeah.
Mahomie went into Baltimore's place.
My mom calls him Mahomie.
And they won, if you recall, a couple years ago, right? I mean, Baltimore had the home field, and they came in and knocked them off. So I don't know. I mean, look, from a pure quarterback, Yeah, from a statistic, that kind of thing, you might go Lamar. But I tell you what, when you want the game on the line and I might be leaning towards Jalen Hurts.
I can understand that, yeah. And I think 5 years from now, Jalen Hurts will have risen in people's minds about how good of a quarterback that he really is. I agree with you, Tom. Like, if you're talking about the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL, the ranking probably is like Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 308. It's the same as the top quarterbacks.
The best ones.
But I do wonder, about that conversation between Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, like where it will end up. Lamar Jackson, as far as like how he plays, it's the sexiest style of quarterback.
Yeah.
And Mahomes certainly too, with the no look stuff that he does. But Lamar Jackson is a highlight reel. Jalen Hurts is not necessarily as highlight reel-ish because of that tush push, but he squats like 600 pounds. And I think he's 700 pounds. Like he's out there doing things that maybe the team appreciates and maybe fans don't appreciate as much.
Well, he does run. He can fly, that guy. Jalen Hurts, he's seen him take off for touchdowns, but he's not, you're right, sexy, shifty, whatever you want to call it. That's Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's a highlight reel.
And
he's a video game.
I do think Lamar has shown he has the ability to elevate players too, because I don't think the wide receiver room in Baltimore has been nearly what Jalen Hurts has had with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And so I do think that factors into some people. Run game, you have Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley last year. So you're talking about two of the best running backs in the NFL. So you put that aside and you just talk about weapons. And I do think that people think Lamar's more of an elevator maybe. And if he won the Super Bowl, then what? Is it hands down he's better? Does that change things for you if Lamar wins the Super Bowl this year?
If Lamar wins the Super Bowl, because that's how we met. I know LeBron James wants to move the goalpost, say it doesn't matter how many championships, a bunch of baloney. But no, that's how we look at it, right? It's stats and it's stature and then it's rings. So that's how we look at the QB position.
Yeah, I'd like for these guys in their careers, like I would love for Joe Burrow to one day win a Super Bowl. I would love for Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl, like for them, Lamar, like for them to each kind of get their turn so that it's not Mahomes dominated or now potentially Jalen Hurts dominated. I'd love for Trevor Lawrence, obviously, to win a Super Bowl. Talking about those teams right now, though. But it doesn't, that's not how the NFL works. It doesn't say to a Jim Kelly, like, well, you were such a good quarterback. We're going to go ahead and award you with this. Or Dan Marino, you were such a good quarterback. We're going to award you with this. No, you're some of the most, or the best players we've ever seen, the best quarterbacks we've ever seen don't win the Super Bowl. Yeah. And Tom Brady has a portion of that too.
Only since 1990, only half the league has won a Super Bowl. So it's very hard to do, as in half the teams. I think it's like 16 of the 32 teams have won a Super Bowl since the beginning of the 90s. So we've seen a lot of repeats because of the Patriots. That's the main one. And then now the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, it is fun. I think that when you want to be able to have that conversation in 15, 20 years and say, look at all of when we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and being able to compare them all fairly, but that's not going to happen. They're probably not all going to have a Super Bowl.
Remember when the NFL thought, oh no, we're losing Peyton Manning, and then we're going to lose Tom Brady at some point after him. How will we survive? Doing just fine. All right, we've got more to do on the other side. It is a Big Chief Tire Monday. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
She's here? Where is she? Singing along to every word at the top of her lungs.
And what does that have to do with anything?
It has everything to do with anything.
Lauren Brooks.
I'm just getting started.
On Helmets and Heels from noon to 2.
Gosh, you're an upbeat lady.
On 1010XL.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Summer is here, and that means it's time to feast on delicious Bono's St. Louis ribs. The small and large rib platters are at a low price to beat the summer heat, and you get 2 southern sides and garlic toast with each platter. It's an unbelievable deal that won't last long, so head to Bono's today to get your St. Louis ribs platter. I'm hungry now just talking about it. Head to Bono's today, and remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Big Chief Tire is always looking for ways to better serve the Jacksonville community we call home. Frank Frangie here. Starting Monday, June 16th, they're opening their 6th shop location in Mandarin, providing more Jacksonville residents with a locally owned auto repair business they can trust. Visit the new shop on San Jose Boulevard today for all your vehicle needs, including brake repair, new tires, and more. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds with as much as 40% off everything in the store. Maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. You can do it now and save as much as 40% off Beard's already unbeatable prices. And don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July. Save up to 40% exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Get the best soccer talk on the First Coast on the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor discuss the beautiful game Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com. Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like EVO implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Am I dreaming or stupid? I think I've been hit by you, baby. No one needs to know.
Do the dad bods know any Shania Twain there, Tom McManus?
No, we don't.
Can we add that to the set list?
I doubt it.
Taylor and I will come up and be guest singers on, the Shania Twain song.
There you
Love
go.
it. Turn her microphone up a little more than mine, though. All right. We, of course, are playing Shania Twain because she comes to Daly's Place next week. She'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday. If you don't have your tickets yet, make sure you go to dailysplace.com and get those tickets. And also, we have lunch to give away right now.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 4, and you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today.
Heck yeah.
Makes me hungry every time.
I know. That's a good Monday. Yeah. it's smart to bring Chick-fil-A in from time to time, Tom and Taylor.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to buy lunch.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Yeah,
all right, we have to get to the pest of the day, brought to you by Terminix. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this topic. I'll just tell you that now because I think over the weekend it got plenty of attention. But Terminix came out to the house today, sprayed our front yard, our backyard, refilled the equipment that we have to keep the mosquitoes away. They are so fantastic. Also made sure that we have no wasps' nests around the house. They do such a fantastic job. I'm telling you, visit them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They take care of Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, all of your favorite event venues around town. The WNBA players do deserve more than 9.3% revenue sharing from the WNBA, but they're not helping themselves with their infighting, as Kelsey Plum said over the weekend that Caitlin Clark was not really all that helpful when it came to the designing of the shirts of, as far as the input when it came to that. And so I just think it's a bad look. They wore shirts, in case you missed it, that said, pay us what you owe us. They're talking to the owners who they do believe that they deserve more than the 9.3, like I said, percentage revenue share. And I agree with that part of things. But Kelsey Plum kind of throwing Caitlin Clark under the bus doesn't, just to me, like, we want to be talking about the sport as far as its progression. I feel like catty women, that's not a good look for the league.
Yeah. And we've talked about that so much about this league's gotten more attention, yes, but it's gotten more attention when there's fights on the court and when women are calling each other out about different stuff. And Tommy, when Caitlin Clark was coming into the league and Angel Reese was coming into the WNBA, and it was a lot of hype at that point. Obviously, they were both just in the women's NCAA tournament, and you saw a lot of chirpiness between that, and so then they were both getting drafted, and it was all of this hype right away, pretty much. And there's barely any time between the time the WNBA draft happens and then they have to play. It's very quick. And so it kind of got to transfer pretty quickly, and you saw the sales go up whenever Caitlin Clark was playing, at least. But and in general, some other leagues too. But I do think that one of the questions Lauren and I from the start was talking about was, how long is this going to last, where you're talking about the product, or is it always just going to be this thing of they hate each other, and it's kind of funny because you get to watch these people, you get to watch them go back and forth and have these rivalries when it comes to on the court, but you never really are talking about the statistical side and their numbers and what's going on beyond Caitlin Clark. And I feel like we're seeing that right now. It's the WNBA is not in the headlines ever just because it's like outside of Caitlin Clark, somebody has a really good game, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, listen, first of all, Sophie Cunningham's got to set a hard pick on Plum next time they play and tell that woman to knock it off. She's my favorite. Listen, I'm not the best for because I don't watch the WNBA. I watched I know. I watched LSU and Iowa because I wanted to see Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark go at it. And then you would think it would turn me into watching more WNBA, but it didn't. It didn't. I know this is going to sound awful, but I kind of equate it to these spring professional football leagues. I don't watch them.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like it's not worthy. I just don't watch them. I watch the NFL. I watch college. I don't watch whoever's playing in. I could name 5 teams in the UFL or whatever it's called. I feel like that with the WNBA. Now, I don't watch a lot of NBA either, for the record. So it's not like I'm watching basketball. But look, they need a better negotiator, man. 9%?
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they're not going to get half. There's no way they're going to get half. But you tell me you can't get those ladies 25%?
Yeah.
30 maybe? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, 9% is ridiculous.
People want to talk about how the league has lost money, and it has. But they've also signed a new TV deal that's going to be, I think, implemented next year. And so they are going to start making money.
Yeah.
And so I understand the point of the T-shirt. It's just you have to come together as women in this league and support one another because people don't watch. That especially if Caitlin Clark's out, they're not watching.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. Pay me what we deserve. What do you deserve? What? Where's the rev? Where are the ratings? Where's the rev? And I know the ratings are up. They're obviously up, especially when Caitlin plays and all that. And but where?
But is it sustainable?
You got 9% of revenue. So what do you deserve? You deserve 9% because that's whoever your union head is negotiated for you. So go to his ass and give him a headache, or her, whoever it is.
Like their main argument is that number one, the majority of the ones in the league now weren't the ones who negotiated that number in the first place. And because you have seen ticket prices go up when Caitlin Clark's playing and other things, they're saying we have seen an increase in, viewership on TV. We have this new deal that we're going to be signing. And other leagues like the NFL and the NBA are getting 50% of this revenue. Yep. But then the other argument of that is they're saying they're not turning a profit. So if you're not turning a profit, then this money they're getting is borrowed money from the NBA technically, because they're just trying to stay afloat. But then in that case too, so all the owners and all of these people are getting their money and the players aren't, and the players are what is making people watch right now.
And the franchises are valuable. They have increased in value a ton over the past few years. So that part's good. But again, I just think that the Kelsey Plums of the world, or the people that on the court are shoving Caitlin Clark, like that to me needs to stop in order to advance the sport.
I didn't mind the initial, like you're initiating her into the league. That was fine, but it's gotten way out of hand. That's why I love Sophie Cunningham. She's like, listen, if you want to mess with my girl, I'm coming after you.
I don't think you're the only person who loves Sophie Cunningham.
No, I know
she has a lot of lovers.
I like the fact that she's a black belt in karate.
I know.
At 6'1".
Yeah, she'll whoop some butt.
That is badass. Yeah. All right. There's more NFL notes I want to get to on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They're the absolute best in the business. I always trust my vehicles with our friends at Big Chief Tire. It's 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
Hello, you're on the air. There's more to 1010XL than radio. 1010XL is multimedia. All communication lines are clear. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment, because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, would your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
If a storm impacts our area, JEA is ready to respond. Our team of over 2,000 employees is prepared to move in when the storm moves on. Once restoration efforts begin, we won't stop until everyone is back online. And we'll keep you informed with real-time updates at JEA.com and the MyJEA app. We're ready for storm season and want you to be too. Visit JEA.com/storm to learn what you can do now to prepare.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 21st, 1973, Atlanta Braves Hank Aaron hits Philadelphia Phillies Ken Brett's fastball for home run number 700.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, why so glum? Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here. What? The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet. Wait,
I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
First Coast, I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Taylor, are you cooling down with the meme of Doug Peterson and holding Press Taylor?
The funniest thing in this whole play. I could not stop laughing at that all weekend, and
There
I'm
were
glad that
several funny
Jags
ones.
fans.
There were some great
There
ones.
was so many good ones.
The airplane one was the best.
What
From the movie Airplane.
Oh, no.
That
I don't
was
know if I saw that one, actually. The Jaguars fans were quite enjoying that one. Because I posted it. I don't know who posted it originally because I saw it on a separate platform and it wasn't like sourced from anybody. So I was like, I don't know who did this, but I can't stop laughing. And this post has like over 55,000 views and 881 likes. So Jaguars fans were definitely on this Doug Peterson and Press Taylor meme.
Yeah, the Mahomes and the ref was
That
fun.
one was hilarious.
That one was funny. I liked the Lane Kiffin with Paul Feinbaum.
Oh, yeah. That was good, too.
Because if you don't know Lane Kiffin, the head coach at Ole Miss, and Paul Feinbaum will go kind of back and forth and trade barbs with one another. And I think they actually really do respect each other. They just like to tease one another, and it's funny.
I feel like Mr. CEO and Mrs. HR are not having as much fun as we are with some of the things.
Well, and then we talked about this yesterday while Dad Bods was playing, but so the lead singer, Chris Martin of Coldplay, before the most recent Kiss Cam, he goes on stage and he tells everyone, okay, we're about to do the Kiss Cam. We're going to show fans in the stands. So if you're with someone you're not supposed to be with, I'm giving you fair warning to not be on camera.
They've definitely been probably thriving off that, honestly.
Oh, yeah. He was
Their downloads
cracking
have
up,
probably
too.
come up, but just moments like that, because they had also tweeted, and he said, we're going to we're contemplating making a section in our arenas of people that are cheating on their significant
I made a
others.
comment yesterday during the Dad Bod show. I said, if you're a Coldplay couple,
Yes.
just know the camera's on you. And why don't you slither on out of here?
Yeah,
Get
the
lost.
Rays, I know, Friday night used the Coldplay song Viva La Vida for their Kiss Cam.
That's
And so I'm
hilarious.
sure to your
Yeah.
point,
Oh,
Coldplay.
Oh, yeah, they're loving it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and the CEO's comment of blaming Coldplay or
Yeah,
something
that
like
was-
that. Like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be
Yeah.
that dumb.
That's why he was the pest of the day last week.
Oh, he's a pest.
He earned it. All right,
Matt.
NFL notes. Bengals owner Mike Brown does believe a deal will get done with defensive end Trey Hendrickson. We've certainly talked about Trey Hendrickson a ton because he is one of the best pass rushers in all of the league, and he deserves a new contract.
Definitely.
And it's just the Bengals are an organization that doesn't always pay players as highly as they should be paid. But they, I feel like, didn't do themselves any favors by paying Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, you automatically then have to pay your defensive end. And oh, by the way, your defense wasn't any good last year.
And I think it ties in with something I'm going to read that Jerry Jones said today because it is interesting. We've seen here, for example, the Jaguars and what they did with Trevor Lawrence and getting ahead of that that contract because every year they're just going to get higher and higher. We know that's going to happen. And Tommy, you were talking on a few breaks ago about Karlaftis. He got a contract extension too, putting him in the top 10 now of highest paid.
4
and
years, $93 million with $62 million guaranteed.
And so that contract doesn't hit until 2 years, though. So they're paying him now. They're getting ahead. They're probably actually in 2 years, it's going to look like a deal because they're going to say, okay, well, because by then it's going to be way more. And Albert Breer posted this because he said, so Jerry Jones made comments today about Michael Parsons and he doesn't really worry too much about getting ahead of the contract deals because he doesn't like paying a player after 3 years because you're kind of projecting. But I feel like a player like Michael Parsons, you already know, Michael Parsons is a very, very good player. And you would think if you could get ahead of that deal, you'd want to. So Albert Breer tweeted, and he said, Jerry Jones more or less saying he doesn't want to take the risk of signing a guy after 3 years, even if it winds up costing the Cowboys big. Last year, the top of the edge rusher market was $34 million. It's $41 million already. $6 million more in just a year. And so imagine that in 2-3 more years. And so it's probably benefits some of these guys when you know you have that player to get ahead of that contract.
And listen, Parsons going to get paid one day if it's not sooner than later. You know, he is that kind of player. Listen, Trey Hendrickson is one of the best in the game. And, you know, we were talking during the break how great Joe Burrow was last year on a bad team. Well, Trey Hendrickson was pretty awesome on a really bad defense, 17 and a half sacks back to back. So you got to sign him, man. You got to. I wanted him here. I was like, go get him.
Sure.
Go get him. Add him to the mix. I don't care. Figure out a way.
I would have taken him or T.J. Watt if they weren't going to get the deals done.
Right. Well, let me throw this at you. Micah Parsons, is he in the T.J. Watt money?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Right away?
I think he'll get probably $1 million more per year just because they always like to
Are
up the
his
ante a
numbers
little bit.
as good as that? I mean, I know he's a great player. I love Micah Parsons. He plays the game the right way, but are his sack numbers, I know they move him around, so maybe it's not fair to just look at sack numbers, but are his sack numbers
I do know
13 and a half, 14, and 12.
That's plenty high.
Yeah.
And the first 4 years.
One thing about Parsons is every other number statistically, like he is in that top 3-4 of guys the last couple years of ones that have, when it comes to pass rush win rate, when it comes to being able to also against the run, all of the things, he's in the top up 3 or 4 of those guys. So he does a little bit of everything, and that's obviously one of the type of edge rusher that
he's
you
a
want.
fantastic player. Knowing those stats, I mean, you're either gonna do it now or pay more later.
Yeah.
And you'll just figure that out. Jerry Jones got plenty of money. He can pay
That's why I
all day
don't
long.
know if Micah Parsons, and I know he made a weird tweet today. It was like a reporter just said, Micah Parsons informed me he's at camp
James
today.
Slater,
I was like, okay, that's
it's tongue in cheek for being like he did report even though he doesn't have his deal, but like instead of quoting a source, just like he told me.
He told me this, but it is, and I think that Micah Parsons, honestly, I'm sure he's going to say, hey, I deserve to get paid, and he's going to make some of those comments, but at the same time, he's winning by waiting another year or two because it's just going to get higher and higher the longer Jerry waits.
And I guess it just matters on how you feel about the player. You know, I mean, you go back to Jalen Ramsey being a Jaguar. Like, I would have probably paid him earlier in hindsight, right? Just pay him. He's the best in the league at that position.
So he didn't
at
need
that
the
time.
Brinks truck.
No, right. He, obviously his attitude wasn't what I'd like, but you try to figure that out. So I would have paid him early. And I look at Trevor and even Josh. I was in the boat. I would have waited for Josh, and then when he got his deal, I get it. Like, but before then, I wouldn't have made him one of the highest defensive edge before the 17.5 season.
Yeah.
I mean, he was okay. He wasn't like Micah Parsons, kind of like, even with Trevor. Hey, granted, they paid him. Happy for Trevor and his family, but I'd have waited. And I know his money doesn't start till next year.
Yeah.
They got a big signing bonus, but I don't know. I'd rather earn it. And I'm not saying Mike in this kind. I'm just saying, it depends on the player. But for me with Trevor, I was like, man, go show me that you're gonna be that guy, and then I'll pay you more. I'll pay you $10 million more. I don't care. I'm gonna make it up anyway in the next, the next.
If you
salary
prove that
cap.
you're actually that guy.
Yeah. I think Shad Khan is a steadfast supporter of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, the reason he got paid earlier than maybe other organizations would have paid him is because Shad totally believes in him.
Yeah.
And Shad certainly has, since he's been the owner back in 2012 is when he overtook the team, he has seen a lot of poor quarterback play, and Trevor's delivered the best years that he's had the team outside of 2017.
Let me ask you this. How much did Trent Baalke influence Shad to do this deal with Trevor?
I think that's an excellent question. And while I don't have
I don't know the answer. I'm just
inner
curious.
room details, I would imagine that whenever you're the general manager, a lot of those decisions are up to you. And Shad signs off on them, but the general manager and Trent Baalke, I'm sure, was a big supporter of Trevor as well.
Yeah, and Baalke came out publicly before the Walker Little extension. We're looking to draft guys, develop them, and extend them. And then he extends Walker Little, and you're like, okay,
And then
are you saving your ass? Like, what are you doing here?
And then he did.
He was like, look what I did.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of George Karlaftis, he's the same draft class as Trayvon Walker. So the conversation that has certainly been surrounding Trayvon, we know that they picked up his fifth-year option. They did not pick up Devin Lloyd's fifth-year option. Right. So that's going to be an interesting thing. Trent Baalke's philosophy when he was here as a GM was to not pay guys during the season. He didn't like, I think Walker Little might have been the only one, where once the season started, he didn't like to negotiate and do deals. He thought that was a distraction to the player and their family. And so now we'll see moving forward what James Gladstone, how his philosophy is different.
They got to be talking already. I mean, they are.
Trayvon,
I mean, and now
AJ,
Trayvon's going to go, well, hello. Look at the kid from KC, and then look what you gave Josh. I'm somewhere in that, in between there somewhere. You got to figure it out. And then you got to, and then they think like, okay, we're not paying for what you did. We're paying for what we think you're going to do, So we think you're going to continue to rise. We think, look, if I'm the owner, he's probably not, but would you not be disappointed in Josh Hines Allen year? I mean, you just paid him mega bucks to be a top 5 pass rusher in the game, and he finishes 8th, and Vegas has him at 8.5 as the over and under, and he's one of the top 5 guys. I'm just like, I don't know. That would bother me.
Such a bad defensive coordinator that's where I think you can rationalize it almost a little bit. The defensive coordinator had all of them gain weight. Ryan Nielsen asked them to put weight on that they shouldn't have been. That's not the playing weight that Josh Hines Allen or Trayvon Walker or Devin
And you can
Lloyd
visually see Josh Hines Allen, the difference in size from camp to camp.
For sure.
Yeah, he was big last year.
Would I be disappointed if I'm Shad as a whole? Because I was told by Trent Baalke, which I promise we won't talk this much about Trent Baalke moving forward once the season starts. But I think, when Trent told Shad this is the best roster, you've ever had, and Shad believed him. And he said in Jaguars history, I would like to think that what Trent and Shad were saying was this is the best roster since Shad took over as owner. Like, I hope that Shad did not ever believe Trent. He didn't say that. That's what I would like to believe, that Shad is a smart man. There's no chance that he thought that last year's roster was better than those rosters in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that. And that's what, to your point, Tommy, though, when it comes to the defense and Josh Hines Allen and what that looks like, Trey Hendrickson was on a very bad defense with a defensive coordinator that was also fired last year and did what he did. So there's always going to be the people that saying there's certain guys that will perform no matter what. And no matter what that position is, if you're talking about quarterbacks, that's a conversation that we can obviously have here too. But outside of that, there's the guys that's just that next level. And you want to hope that there's guys on this roster that you feel like can hit that. I just don't know if we've quite seen that at a consistent level, at least.
But so back to just what I was saying, like disappointed if I'm the owner. So now I'm expecting Josh, if I'm the owner, he's got to get backed up to the 15, like the 12 to 15. Like, come on, man, I'm paying you. I don't care about weight. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I'm paying you to be one of the top pass rushers in the game, and I'm getting ready to pay your friend here that's going to be maybe not the highest paid or close to it, but we're going to give him a bunch of money, and we're going to expect him to keep doing, the 10.5 sacks and more. So, look, again, that whole culture sucked for whatever reason last year. It's a brand new culture.
We're always talking about the culture here.
It's true, man.
I feel
It's
like
true.
in winning organizations, all they do is say, the winning culture, and then they move on. They don't go round and around about the culture because their culture is winning.
When you make
that's
the
it.
same mistakes all year long, your culture is terrible.
Yeah.
There's no
Your
way
coaching
as a
is terrible.
professional athlete, and I'm putting this on the player, that you make a mistake in week 2, you make the same mistake in week 8, you make the same mistake in week 14. There's something wrong with your culture, and it has nothing to do with coaching. It has everything to do with the locker room. And they've been missing that. And I think this year it's going to change. I really do. I think there's going to be some internal accountability. I think they're really going to put pressure on each other, and it needs to happen because that's what it takes to win in the NFL.
Outside of Jordan Lewis, sorry, Taylor, outside of Jordan Lewis, I'm not sure that they brought in vocal, experienced leaders. I'm talking about the defensive side.
Okay.
So I'm certainly going to be fascinated as training camp begins on Wednesday to listen, not just watch, but to listen to see
who's kind of taking over that their rooms. Yeah. Where do you see at this point of time if you're having conversations about that Trayvon Walker contract? Obviously, TJ Watt just got his. He's making 41 average a year. Behind that is Myles Garrett at 40, Danielle Hunter at 35.5, Max Crosby at 35.5, Nick Bosa at 34, then Josh Hines-Allen at 28, Brian Burns at 28, Montez Sweat at 24. You thinking in that range?
I'm thinking probably a little bit in that higher 20 range.
Yeah.
Maybe not as high as Josh Hines-Allen, but if you're going to do it now, I may wait. I mean, I'd rather wait. I would have waited on Tyson Campbell, too. I wouldn't have paid him. I'd wait to see if he could play a full year healthy and a productive year. But that's the game you play.
Yeah.
You got to say, okay, do I take the shot now, pay him now, invest in it now, and hope that he's going to be that player or believe he's going to be? Then you do it. Or you wait and see.
Yeah, because if you pay him 27 right now and then he goes on and has 14 sack season, 13 sack season, 17 sack season, then you're like, heck yeah, you just got to steal.
Listen, if I'm Myles Garrett, I want 50.
Yeah.
You look at my stats. Go look at my stats every year. I don't have a 5 sack. TJ Watt had 11.5 last year. He had some stuff going on, injured, whatever, but he played every game. Myles Garrett,
he just got 108 million fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Myles is good. TJ Watt's good. Trey Hendrickson will be next. Micah Parsons as well. All right, let's say hello to Hayes Carline.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Hayes, did you have a fulfilling weekend like Scotty Scheffler did?
Unbelievable. I mean, what a player. I mean, it's so much fun to watch him. And, it's just, he just doesn't get into trouble. Even on Saturday, he had that terrible second shot late in his round where it ends up on a hill, and he sort of lost control of the club. And then he just calmly recovers and, knocks it in, saves par. And I think he made 4 bogeys or worse like the entire tournament. I mean, just
he makes
dominant
it look so
golf.
easy, yeah.
He really does. Now, it wasn't like links golf other than Thursday.
Yeah.
That was the day of conditions. And then, which is fine. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, beautiful at Royal
gorgeous.
Portrush. It really didn't feel like the traditional Open. I'm not saying there's an asterisk on it or anything like that, but to Scheffler's credit, he took full advantage. It's the reason, like, you saw guys like DeChambeau, Corey Connors. There was a slew of guys that had terrible Thursdays and rebounded and actually finished pretty well in the Open. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up. We had a loser Monday result. So we will certainly break that down. Yes, we have already enjoyed our bonos, so appreciate them. But yeah, so it's getting sort of interesting. It's an interesting race between 2 parties here.
Not you.
Yeah, I mean, the team so far, we've been pretty good, knock on wood. So with one event left, we'll see. But yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show.
I loved after he won yesterday, Scotty won, and you always get to see Meredith and Bennett, the wife and child, and then Meredith takes the pacifier away from Bennett, okay, you've had this in long enough, kid, you're done.
It's amazing how much we've seen Bennett this summer.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like we know him.
It's incredible. I mean, it's like, is he going to have poopy pants this time? No, his pants are clean, and everything.
Meredith made sure to get the better diapers.
But seeing him try and get up the slope yesterday was just priceless. So I mean, Scheffler's just such a great ambassador for the game. Thank God he didn't go to Live because I mean that conversation would be totally different.
Oh yeah.
If he had gone to Live and then maintained whatever
he's
this
doing.
competitive excellence is.
Yeah.
And was having this kind of run in the majors and wasn't playing on the PGA Tour.
Right.
So whenever the PGA Tour wants to put up a statue of Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy would be a pretty good one too, because he was certainly the face of that. But boy, the PGA Tour is really lucky to have Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, and you do wonder if DeChambeau is like, maybe I should have stayed.
Yeah.
But either way.
He's the only one I would well, I guess maybe Rom, but DeChambeau's the only one that I think
You would
you
take
take
back?
back,
Yeah.
no questions asked, no penalty involved. Just bring him right back. The other guys, Rom would have to pay a little bit of a penalty, but I would bring him back.
To
the
you
rest of them
personally?
can go earn their cards. Yeah,
give you
to
a
me.
little- yeah.
No, but
Thanks.
I'm just thankful it worked out the way it worked out. Thank you guys.
Yeah, it would. If you missed it, Scotty Scheffler said that winning's not necessarily fulfilling, and then he went and tore the course up and won by 4 strokes. So
Yeah,
we didn't
he's
even
awesome.
have time to get to that, so I wanted to mention that. All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.
Yeah. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. And you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying.
Hi, I'm William Byron.
And the Daytona 500 goes to William Byron.
1010 XL, Jack Sports Radio.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand-spun the old-fashioned way, their refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campion Law.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS